Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 674 of the Juicebox Podcast. On today's show, I'll be speaking with Emilio. He is 18 years old at the time of this recording, has autoimmune hepatitis, type 1 diabetes, and has been through COVID. He is a remarkable young man, and you do not want to miss this conversation. Emilio, if you're listening, your file got kind of lost on my computer for a little while. I'm sorry this took so long to put out. It was not on purpose. While you're listening today, please remember that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. If you're a U.S. resident who has type 1 diabetes or is the caregiver of someone with type 1, in fewer than 10 minutes, you can help. Go to t1dexchange.org/juicebox. Join the registry, take the survey, help people living with type 1 diabetes. t1dexchange.org/juicebox. There's like a tiny bit of space left here. I don't know what to do with it. Oh well, it's gone. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Dexcom, makers of the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor. Get started today at dexcom.com/juicebox. At that link, you can also find out more and see if you're eligible for a free 10-day trial. Speaking of free trials and the possibility that you'll be eligible for them, you may be eligible for a free 30-day trial of the Omnipod DASH. Omnipod.com/juicebox. More details later on in the ads.
I am from a little country in South America called Ecuador. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes on July 2016, but it all goes back to when I was 2 years old. At that age, I was diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis, and my life was based on living in one hospital until the next one. And going back and forth between Ecuador and Argentina, because at the time, getting good treatment for autoimmune hepatitis in Ecuador was very difficult. And the doctors in my country told my family that I would not live for long here. So my pediatricians recommended to seek treatment in Argentina, given that they were better equipped. Mm-hmm. So my life went through that until I was 13. And then I started to feel very bad. I had headaches, started to pee a lot, I drink a lot of water, until one day I just finished school, and then my family and doctors started to figure out what was wrong with me. And they originally thought that the problem was my gallbladder because I had mineral stones, and the doctors finally removed it, but when they did the blood work, they never tested for glucose.
Okay.
So I went through surgery and everything went well until I woke up in the recovery room and then fainted again. They told me I started to breathe heavily and I had a sort of convulsion. Then the nurses entered the room and they checked my glucose. My dad has a number on his head. He always tells me it was 523. After that happened, they moved me into the intensive care unit when I woke up. And I remember I was surrounded by a dozen of doctors and had all sort of cables and tubes connecting me to machines from there.
Yeah.
From that moment, things were not so bad. I started to recover, but I couldn't feel my right leg completely. Then the days passed and I started to regain sensitivity in the upper part of my leg, but the other part was not working. So I had to use crutches to move on my own.
So, okay.
Then
hold on one second. I'm going to slow you down. I want to make sure I'm understanding it. So also, you did a great job of telling me about yourself. You never said your name. Do you want to tell people or do you want me?
Oh, yeah. My name is Emilio. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So, Emilio, we have, I want to make sure that I'm understanding everything that's happening. So, 2 years old, you're diagnosed in Ecuador with autoimmune hepatitis, which I have in front of me. A chronic autoimmune disease of the liver that occurs when the body's immune system attacks liver cells, causing the liver to be inflamed, Common initial symptoms include fatigue, muscle aches, or signs of acute liver inflammation that include fever, jaundice, right upper quadrant abdominal pain. Does that, I know you were 2 then, but that's a correct description of what you have?
That's the correct description. And you may add there that you get yellow. You literally get color yellow. Your eyes are bright yellow, and you can tell it from that.
Yeah.
If you have the disease, I used to do that with other people. It's a thing of mine, but yeah.
Well, here's the craziest part. That this blurb here says that people usually get it between 40 and 50 years old.
Yeah, and it's very common in women and not so common for men, but it does happen.
It does happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And then growing up between your diagnosis with that and when you're diagnosed with type 1 at 13, what's your life like with autoimmune hepatitis?
It was very hard because, as I told you, it was like moving hospital to hospital. I never had like a normal life until I was like 16, 17, I think. Yeah, but it was always being in hospital to hospital, and because of the treatment for the autoimmune hepatitis, I couldn't see a lot of people because I didn't have a very hard immune system, so I was very delicate.
Did you spend long chunks of time in the hospital, or were you just in and out a lot?
In and out a lot, and sometimes I used to spend a couple of months back and forth.
Getting treatment, or because you had a flare-up that was debilitating you?
Getting treatment. Yeah.
Okay. What were the treatments like?
Basically, they pump you up with cortisone, like a whole liter of cortisone to the vein, and yeah.
And that kind of drives it away, but it also has other impacts on you, right?
Yeah. The other impacts are very hard because at the time being, we did not expect the cortisone to do bad stuff to me, but it has done it through the time. So now I have a couple of things in my body. For example, my vision is very blurry because of that. Also, cortisone in the long term causes organ failure. So, but what basically we thought that it was the cause for type 1 was the cortisone.
Oh, really? Like the idea that the cortisone could have started the type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you're diagnosed with type 1, you're back in Ecuador at that point?
Yes, yeah. I was here, but when 6 months after I was diagnosed, we went back to Argentina because we always loved the medics there, the doctors there. So we went back there, and they helped a lot, but a lot. Also, I had when I came back from the coma, because I was in a 1-week coma after I was diagnosed, I had a neuropathy, as I was telling you.
Yeah.
So the thing that neuropathy does to your body is hard. It's hard to explain because your muscle memory doesn't work as well as if you has a healthy leg or a healthy body part that is being affected by the neuropathy. So when they tested for these things here in Ecuador, they passes current through your nerves. So my leg decided to remember the electric shocks at 3 a.m. for 5 months. So the pain was awful. So I was dealing with type 1. I was dealing with a neuropathy. So it was a very hard 6 months when I started. Wow. But we went through it.
So you get these like constant shocking pains that go on for hours.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like electric shocks.
Wow. And painful to what degree? Like from a scale to 1 to 10, where would you put it?
An 8, I will think.
Wow. And you're a young boy at that point then too.
Yeah, I was 14, 13 at the time.
Yeah. Geez. I'm trying to figure out where to jump to, but what does diabetes care? Tell me again, how old are you now?
Now I am 18.
You're 18 now. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
am eating.
so how did your diabetes care start? What did they give you to, like, how does it work in Ecuador?
It works pretty much the same way it does in the US and the whole world, but we are very analog here. So we use the blood sugar meters, and we use pens or syringes.
Hmm.
But because I have a lot of friends that are very into the subject, they have introduced me into technology of this, and it's amazing. Now I am checking my glucose with the Freestyle Libre. I
Right.
don't know if you
I,
know that device.
I know it. Yep.
Yeah, and I had used the Omnipod also.
Really? H-
Yeah,
How did
I
do they sell that
I
there?
love it. But the thing with the Omnipod is that the insulin reservoir is very low for me because I use a lot of insulin because of the cortisone and and yeah, it just works 1 or 2 days for me.
How, so you're using about 200 units in a couple of days.
Yeah.
You're on the cortisone still to this day?
Yes.
Is that
We tried with a lot of other pills, but didn't work.
okay?
Hasn't worked.
Wow. What's your diet like? What do you eat in the course of a normal day?
Pretty much normal. Mm, Now I'm very controlled in my hepatitis thing,
Okay.
but I got COVID at the start of the year, and my hepatitis went crazy, but now it's controlled. But
Okay.
I never had like a special diet or like change change my whole life through it.
Gotcha.
It's
So
yeah.
what's tell me what an average meal looks like in Ecuador, just so people can understand.
Well, basically it's like rice, and pretty much every plate has rice, and depends on what else you want because you have seco de pollo, things like that. It's like a chicken stew. You serve with rice
Hmm.
and plantains. Yeah, and
Okay.
plantain chips.
How,
It's pretty much normal.
it's just a common meal. Do you, like, I don't want to get too far off topic here, but
Yeah.
the Galapagos Islands are like that's my dream vacation. Like that's
Oh, it's amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
You've been?
Yeah, I have been there. I have been there.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm making more of it in my head than I think, but it's the one place I'd like to go that I've never been.
No, it's very beautiful. It's like at the start. It's pretty much the time doesn't pass there.
Yeah.
You can spend hours doing stuff, and the time won't pass. It's very rare.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my thing, but when I was there, I think I was doing stuff, and the time never passed.
Right. Well,
And yeah,
how often do you see a doctor for the type 1?
for the type 1, I'm seeing a doctor every 1 month.
Once a month.
Once a month, yeah. I'm pretty much controlling it, and if I have a problem, I usually text him
Hmm.
and ask questions. But at the time now, I'm very controlled.
What are they measuring success with? Are they using an A1C or
Yeah, we're using A1C. We're using the glucose, the amount of tests in the month
yeah? And
to look at that.
do you like, how do you think of it on yourself? Are you trying to stay within a range? Do you just
Yeah, I usually stay between the range. My range is between 80 and 160,
wow.
and it goes through that. I have good days. I have bad days, but
Yeah.
pretty much the time it stays normal. But
How active are you able to be with the hepatitis, like exercise and
uh, very active, by
yeah.
the way. They have recommended me, and they always do, that I need to do more exercise than I usually do,
Hmm.
and they push me through it. Also because of the mixture between the cortisone and the insulin, I need to do more because my body tends to reject insulin.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, for example, I am using also Trasiba. I don't know if you know that insulin.
I do.
Like a a long active one.
Yep.
I use 68 units of it every day, so I use a lot.
How much do you weigh?
150.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a lot for the cortisol then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So also the Novo Rapid, I use half a cartridge every 3 weeks. No, every 3 days. Sorry.
Every 3 days.
So
Man,
yeah,
a lot
it
of
does
insulin.
suck a lot of insulin.
Well, I have a couple of questions, I guess. How did all of this impact you going to school? Were you able to still go to school when you were young?
No. My first years with autoimmune hepatitis and diabetes, I usually went like 90 days of a year.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so. So I was not very active in school.
Okay.
I had lessons through a computer. Also because I was not in the country, and making the trips was very very difficult with paper. So we did it with the computer.
Okay. Yeah. So you did a lot of online stuff back then.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
So have you graduated?
Yeah, I'm graduated and I'm going to start college the next year.
That's what I was wondering. What are you thinking of going to college for?
Business management, I think.
It's hard to know when you're 18, isn't it?
Yeah, very hard.
Yeah. I think you just pick something that you're good at, that you enjoy, and then you kind of hope that during college you can figure out something.
you can like figure out if you can do it for the long run. Yeah.
Or hopefully you'll learn something that'll give you some interest that you can follow along. How was it a very expensive process for your parents, the treatments over time?
Yes and no. The things we did in Argentina, they were out of pocket for my parents. But here, the insurance covers, I think, the 40%, 50% of it. But it's not so great because the Freestyle Libre, the insurance doesn't cover it. The Omnipod, the insurance doesn't cover it because it's not like registered here in Ecuador.
Yeah.
And getting the stuff here, it's also hard. What I do is like I had a friend in Colombia, so in Colombia they buy it from a pharmacy and they send it through plane. Then someone needs to pick it up and then drive it here.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a process. And with the Omnipod, I found a website that I could buy them from because my insurance won't allow me to use it. I don't know why. So yeah, I need someone from the US to buy it and then send it on a plane to here.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, when you were going to Argentina as a child, how did you go? Did you drive or fly, or what was that like?
We fly.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be an amazing trip without flying, right?
It's 8 hours, 6 hours, right. if I recall.
Wow. Was one of your parents with you all the time when you were younger?
Yeah, my mom used to be there a lot. But when the first time we went in Argentina, when I was like really bad with autoimmune hepatitis, my dad had a problem with the ID, so he couldn't travel. So I was with my mom and the doctor. And then the day we arrived, I had a 6-month coma. I went into a 6-month coma.
Was that something that happened naturally, or did they put you into a medical coma?
It was a mixture because my body was like shutting down and they were trying to help me. So they induced me into it, but it was a mixture of it.
Wow. 6 months.
Yeah. My parents thought I was dead. So I was like brain dead, I would think. But yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that was actually going to be my next question, which is, have you, since all of this has happened, now that you're older, have you ever spoken to your parents about all this and heard their side of what was happening?
We have done it through the years. We have speak of it because it's like my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it's like a normal thing now. We don't view it as a different thing.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal. But my cousins, for example, they do think that I was going to die. So now that I'm 18 and I want to party, I'm getting out and living my life, they always tell me like, take care of it. We save you once. We don't want to save you twice. So yeah.
It's enough for you. We're done helping you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing. How do you, you said you found the podcast through a friend. How does that all happen?
Because I was like experimenting with all this technology. I found a friend of mine who his son has become diabetic, and he had the insurance to buy all the stuff. So when the first day he had the second week, I think, that his son had diabetes, they started getting the Dexcom and the Omnipod.
Okay.
So.
And these are friends in Ecuador or friends in another?
Yeah.
Place? Yeah.
No, here in Ecuador.
Okay.
But they do travel a lot, so they have the capability to buy it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the insurance gave it to them, so it's much easier for them.
Okay. So some people's insurance will cover it and some people's won't.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. What will happen? Will your parents be able to continue to help you while you're in college? And what do you think about when you're out?
Yeah, they are helping me, and I don't think they're gonna stop, because at the time being now I am working, but I don't have like a very hard job, so it's like a part-time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're still helping me, and they would help me until I was 40. So I don't think that's a problem.
You don't think they're gonna bail on you?
No,
I don't think so either.
No, yeah, they're not.
Emilio, I have to tell you, this is no, I'm not making this up just because you're on, but for the last, in the last year or so, I've been wondering why I'm getting more downloads in Ecuador than I usually do. And I guess I'm figuring out that it might be you. So
it might be me or my friend or a couple of friends that are diabetics that we listen to the podcast, because it's helpful. It's helpful because of the Juicebox thing. Because if I don't know the correct amount of insulin, okay, I'm gonna add for a Juicebox, and that has been very helpful.
Wow.
Very helpful.
Emilio, you might not understand the gravity of what I'm saying to you, but that I thought of something like 10 years ago in a gymnasium while my daughter was playing basketball that I eventually said out loud into a microphone that somehow reached you in Ecuador is mind-blowing to me. And that you said that
it's amazing.
Oh man, it just gives me chills when you say it. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, you didn't have diabetes when I figured that out. You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah.
And we live about as far away from each other as, somebody could. And it's really something. I know you grew up with the internet. Like, it's never not been there for you.
Yeah.
But I remember it not existing. And so it's really it's an awesome thing to hear.
Yeah, that's a good thing for me, because I was like, my escape in the hospital rooms and through all the treatment was like watching videos for YouTube or internet or playing my phone.
Yeah.
So it has always been a part of me.
Yeah, that's excellent. Do you have any idea where your friend who told you about the show found out about it?
I think through a US doctor, because he also does. He also has treatment for his son in the US, and I think the doctor recommended to it.
Ah, okay. So when he was in the US visiting a doctor, the doctor told him about it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's really crazy. Okay. Well, what you said, you think things are going pretty well for your care. Like, what's your A1C now? If you've been thinking about getting an insulin pump but don't want all that tubing, you should check out the Omnipod DASH. It's tubeless. Go to omnipod.com/juicebox to learn more. The Omnipod DASH is a number of things. You can use it. Let me tell you what you can do with it. Showering, swimming, that's all good to go. Exercise, weightlifting, running around, all good to go. You don't have to take it off for those things. Those tubed pumps often have to come off in scenarios like that, leaving you without insulin. Not good. Omnipod doesn't have tubes, so you can constantly wear it without interruption. On top of all this, you might be thinking, all right, Scott, it sounds good, but how do I know for sure before I get started? Well, a free 30-day trial is a good place to begin. So you can try the insulin pump that my daughter uses without any risk at omnipod.com/juicebox. If you like it, it's simple to keep going. And if you don't want it anymore, you get to the end of the 30 days, you're like, not for me? No problem. Nobody's going to bother you. That's the end of that. Nice and easy, up to you. That's how Omnipod wants it to be. For full safety, risk information, and free trial terms and conditions, you can also visit omnipod.com/juicebox. Dexcom G6. What is it? Why do you want it? Let's dig in. The Dexcom G6 is a continuous glucose monitor. Monitor? Well, there goes the accent. It's a continuous glucose monitor. There you go. It's a small device that you wear. It reports your blood sugars back to your phone or to a receiver. When I say phone, I mean Android or iPhone. Not the one with the rotary thing like your grandmom had. That doesn't work that way. But if you have an Apple iPhone or an Android product, it is very likely that the Dexcom G6 will work for you. If it doesn't, it's okay. Use the receiver. Why would I do this? Or you, more specifically? Well, I'll tell you. The speed and direction and number of the blood sugar for the user. Just like this. I'm picking up my phone. You couldn't hear it because I'm stealthy. I've swiped up and I've touched an app. Arden's blood sugar is 71. Boom. She's also diagonal down, which means her blood sugar is falling a little bit. She's in the shower. We've already taken care of it. How did we take care of it? Well, 10 minutes ago, she was 91 diagonal down. And I said, you're getting in the shower. We should probably do something about this. And we did. That 71's going to stop. I'll watch it happen here on my phone. Comfort and convenience, safety and security, health. These are the things that we personally get from the Dexcom G6. There are results, of course, and yours may vary. But if you'd like to find out more, get started today, or see if you're eligible for a free 10-day trial, go to dexcom.com/juicebox. There are links in the show notes of your podcast player and links at juiceboxpodcast.com. If you can't remember, dexcom.com/juicebox. And who could forget omnipod.com/juicebox. Or from the beginning when I said, check out t1dexchange.org/juicebox. Take the survey. I could do these links in my sleep. Do you understand me? You could keep me awake for 72 hours and then say, Scott, how do I find out about the Dexcom? And I'd say dexcom.com/juicebox. Right before I passed out from being so tired. Let's get back to Emilio.
My A1C now, I don't know that. My doctors know that. I usually don't look at it because I will get crazy of the numbers.
Oh, okay. Is that something your parents pay attention to and they don't?
No, I had to tell them even that don't check my numbers. Let me take care of it on my own way.
Okay.
Because I don't want them to be preoccupied a lot.
You're worried that they'll get consumed with helping you?
Yeah, they had done it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't want them to go through that again.
Yeah. Are you trying to protect them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it was hard on them?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
And his son, maybe that his son could die 2 times.
Oh, okay. Low blood sugars?
Yeah. Because can you repeat the question? I didn't understand you.
Did you almost pass from low blood sugars or because of the hepatitis? You just think your parents have been through enough in general?
Yes and yes. Because of the hepatitis, like the common thing, the doctors here told my parents I was gonna die. I was gonna die. He's not gonna make it.
So they had to live through that one time already.
Yeah. And then the next time, and the diabetes thing, I was very bad. Very bad.
Yeah. When you were at diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Emilio, this is crazy. I have to take this call. Hold on one second. I really apologize.
No,
This
don't worry.
doesn't usually happen. I'm going to take my headphones off. You're not going to be able to hear me.
Don't worry.
Hello? Okay, so sorry about that, everybody. I got a phone call I had to take, and Emilio, I apologize. What were we talking about when that happened? Because I got spazzed out when I saw my phone ring.
We were talking about like taking it easy with my parents. I think.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you felt like they had been through enough, so you're doing it. But now you also don't want to know. Tell me more about not wanting to know your A1C.
It's not wanting to know my A1C. It's because the calculus for that thing. I don't usually see the exams. I just give it to the doctor, or the results just get sent to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So she checks. She checks if I'm okay,
And just says you're okay.
Yeah, basically. So I don't get my mind into numbers, because for one thing, I don't like numbers, and also I get very frustrated if I'm not in my range.
So if you were to hear that the number wasn't what you wanted, it'd be frustrating to you.
It will be frustrating, and I will like shut down and stop everything I'm making to fix it. So
I see.
I'm just taking it easy with it.
So you just think of it as keeping things between you do your best day to day to keep yourself in that range that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you use any of the ideas from the podcast in your management?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I use the Juicebox thing.
Do you pre-bolus
the
your
top.
meals?
Yeah, I do pre-bolus. Yeah, that's one thing. My mornings were awful because before that, because as I just wake up, my body reacts differently, and my insulin sensitivity in the morning is even higher than during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So for my morning, it's 1 unit for every 3 grams of carbohydrates.
That's heavy.
And if I inject for the meal, it doesn't work. So I need to pre-bolus and add 10 more units or 8 more units, depends on the amount of food I ate the day before.
Okay.
But yeah. So
in the morning, your insulin ratio could be even stronger than 1 to 3. It could be almost 1 to 2 or something like that.
No, it's 1 to 3, and during the day it's 1 to 7.
1 to 7. Oh, that is a big difference. Okay. Your basal insulin, do you ever look at your graphs overnight to see if you're stable overnight, and other times when you don't have food to see where your basal could be adjusted?
Yeah. So if I have food at night, it tends to go high and then drops and stay like level.
Okay.
But if I don't eat anything, it goes straight. It's straight at 80.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't move from there.
I mean, you're doing a really good job, because you're having to use a lot of insulin because of the cortisone. So that's it's difficult, like.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a time where you're not on the cortisone?
No, I have never been out of it. We have tried to make the transition from it, but it hasn't worked out.
So it's an everyday situation.
Yeah.
You get it by injection or by a pill?
No, I take pills, 5 milligrams
once a day?
Once a day. Yeah. Every night.
Is there anyone else in your family with autoimmune issues?
My grandma from my father. Mm-hmm. She has lupus, and we think it all came from her.
Okay, so it comes that way.
Because from my mother's side, I don't have anything, and from my dad's side, my grandfather doesn't have anything. It's just my grandma.
Okay. Do you have any other autoimmune issues besides the hepatitis and the diabetes?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Do they test you for celiac disease, for thyroid issues, stuff like that?
Yeah, they always do that. And it always comes right. I don't have anything of that.
Excellent.
Because I'm very paranoid of it. So I always I'm checking.
Okay.
To see if everything well, because I have the thing in my head that tells me you're gonna die. So I always check.
Is that really something? Do you feel like that frequently?
Not frequently, but if something like I feel like sick or something like that, I think should I may have even worse thing that I have now. So
So yeah. So if your arm starts to hurt, you're pretty sure it's gonna fall off. That kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm very paranoid of it.
You play any sports?
Yeah, I do. Well, like normal sports, I don't do normal sports. No normal sports. The only normal sport I do is swimming,
Okay.
and then the other is like scuba diving, also.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, scuba diving
Uh,
with do you do it in groups or do you do it?
yeah, in groups.
Yeah.
You can't dive alone.
Okay. Where do you learn how to do that? How old were you when you learned how to scuba dive?
It was around when I was 11, 12.
No kidding. So before diabetes, you knew how to do it.
Before diabetes. Yeah, and it was very helpful because as I told you before, I didn't have my leg for like 6 months
Yeah.
when I was in recovery. So I couldn't walk, but I could swim and I could dive. So that was a thing that like pushed me to go further.
Yeah.
Was like diving and
Oh, that's
was
interesting.
very helpful. Yeah.
So part of your therapy or just to keep your mind right,
Mhm.
you would swim when you couldn't actually walk. So were you in a wheelchair for a while?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going through school in a wheelchair and using crouches to go anywhere.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay. Big family?
No, it's me, my sister, and my brother.
Oh,
We're
just
three.
three of you.
Yeah.
Are you the youngest, oldest, in the middle?
Yeah, I'm the youngest one.
You're the youngest. Are they much older than you or are they just a little older?
A little older. My brother is 25 and my sister is 21, I think.
Okay. Are they at school or on their own? Or are they at home?
They are on their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about, let's see, what else? You dating?
No, I'm not dating.
No, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better.
Yeah, it's better. It's a lot of trouble sometimes.
Exactly.
Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I know there's times I wish maybe I wasn't dating. Like the person I decided to date is bothering me right now, for instance. They know I'm talking to you and still are asking me questions that have nothing to do with.
Yeah, also because now I'm like fixing my life in a sort of way, because of the whole like quarantine thing and all of that. I'm like starting my life again.
Yeah.
So right now I'm like being amazing and having my life and being next to someone. It's not a thing in my plans.
I hear you. Hey, I want to ask you a little bit about having COVID. So how long ago did that happen to you?
That happened, I would think, in February of this year.
Okay, recently.
Yeah, recently.
This year.
And I got it easy because I was asymptomatic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you tested positive and didn't have symptoms.
Yeah, but the sugar thing was very bad, very bad. That was the thing that made me realize, oh, I maybe had COVID.
Oh, okay. And then you got
because then I got tested and we all came back positive.
Oh, the whole family.
The whole family, yeah. Me, my father, and my mother, because my brother doesn't live here anymore.
Were there vaccines available to you? Or no?
Yeah.
There were?
Yes.
Did you take them?
They were. And because I have like a little card that says that I'm disabled, I had the Pfizer. And I had this Pfizer vaccine. Okay. The Pfizer vaccine, yeah.
So you had the vaccine, but then caught COVID, but were asymptomatic.
No. I caught COVID before the vaccine.
Oh, before the vaccine. Okay, so now you have the vaccine. Well, now you've got
Yeah. We got the vaccines, I think, 2 months later than the US.
Oh, I see. All right.
So it was like a whole time. But having COVID with diabetes and my hepatitis was hard because like my ratio went from having 1-7 through all the day to having 1-5. Really? And I needed to pre-bolus like 30 minutes before.
Wow.
The sensitivity of it was awful. So yeah.
How long?
Also,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Also needed to do a lot of exercise.
Just to help bring your blood sugar down.
Exactly.
Yeah. How long did the COVID impact you? For how many days or
Until
weeks?
now.
Has it been? Oh, it's been all these months. It's been giving you trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But with my hepatitis, because the diabetes is controlled now.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my question. Like, how scary was it with the hepatitis to get COVID?
Oof, it was awful because we thought I was gonna die, but it was the exact same opposite because my parents got bad and I was the one that was helping them. So I was 17 at the time, and I was like driving the car for my dad, working, doing the work stuff for my dad, like getting out and going out with COVID, trying to not get in touch with people, but we needed to work, so that was the thing.
How old are your parents?
My dad is 54 and my mom is 47, I think.
It
45.
hit them very hard.
My dad needed to use oxygen.
Wow.
And because I had like an aquarium hobby, I do have oxygen bottles here in the house, and I fill them up because I knew something in my head told me get the oxygen bottle filled if anything happens. So that was very helpful.
You have oxygen bottles because did you say you have an aquarium hobby?
Yeah,
okay.
I have also do aquariums.
Okay, and so you gathered up extra oxygen in the house, thinking that might be an issue around COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, that's pretty smart.
My dad I had 3 tanks, and my dad uses in 3 days.
No kidding.
Yeah, he uses it in 3 days.
Are they recovered now?
Yeah, they're recovered now.
Do
they don't have backlashes or anything.
Nothing like that.
I am the only one who had that.
Okay, and so it stuck to you longer, but just what was your biggest problem? The impact it had on your blood sugar? Or
the biggest problem was that because my glucose was between 300 and 200, and it wouldn't go down.
Oh my God!
It wouldn't go down.
For how long?
For a month.
No kidding. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And I was feeling bad because of COVID and because of having high blood sugar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, tell me about that. Like when you're that high for that long, the impacts on you are a lot, right?
Yeah. So you don't want to get out of your bed. You're without energy to do anything, and you cannot eat anything because it will go higher, and you cannot smell anything because of COVID. And it was a whole sort of things.
And you had to, but at the same time, you were taking care of your parents.
Yeah.
Were your brothers or sisters home, or was it just the 3 of you at that point?
No, and my brother's girlfriend mom also was bad. So my mom, between COVID and feeling bad, was also helping her.
Wow, that's terrible. Did any of you ever end up in the hospital?
My dad was about to go to it, but we called the doctors and they told us if he goes to the hospital, he's gonna die. He's not gonna survive if he goes to the hospital.
Wow.
So it's better to keep it in the house and keep it watch.
You guys got really lucky, huh?
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a big part of helping everybody get better too. Were you were you cooking and doing everything? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
I was cooking and all the stuff. In quarantine I improved my gourmet skills, but
me too.
Yeah. But yeah, when I got COVID also I did that because I wanted to test what flavors could I smell or feel.
I gotcha.
Spoiler, no one, neither of them.
When you lose your sense of smell, can you eat food that you don't like?
I used to chew on garlic.
Hoping to taste something?
Yeah. Also on onions, and I didn't feel anything.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really something. Did doctors come to the house to see you, or was it all over the phone?
It was all over the phone. Because we were in lockdown here.
Yeah.
And we had a curfew that started I think at the time we had a curfew that started at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
How is COVID in Ecuador? Was it a real big problem, or did it just get you guys? Or
Yeah, it was a really big problem because people used to dead bodies appear on the streets.
oh,
No one knows why people like started to felt bad on the streets,
right. Wow,
and
that's insane.
they were piling up, and yeah, it was very awful.
It's scary.
Yeah, very scary here.
You've been through a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that? That you've probably gone through more than most people will in their whole life, and you did it, in the first
Yes,
18
and
years?
I use it as a push for my life, like to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had fought this hard, why would I stop now?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, why? I hear. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase "in for a penny, in for a pound," but it's the idea of
Yeah.
you went this far, you might as well not give up, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's really something. Do you? I guess you don't remember yourself prior to any of this. Like, it's a very you have a great way about you, and a great there's just a great feeling coming from you. So, do you have any idea why you feel that way? Why aren't you depressed and sitting in your room? Do you know what I mean? Like, why did you choose this path? Or
I had been depressed. When I was diagnosed, I did have depression.
Mhm.
Was for like a month, but it passed me as I went through it. But like my mind works in a way that I usually see the better in things, the better good in things,
Gotcha.
and not the bad. Yeah.
And your English is amazing. Like,
Oh, thanks.
have you ever been to America?
Yeah, I have been there a couple of
Okay.
times.
I mean, we've been talking for 40 minutes and I've only said one thing once that you said, can you repeat that? And I've not like, I haven't changed how I speak for you, or do you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I haven't taken words out of my vocabulary or anything like that.
Hmm.
Where do you learn English?
From school, my whole like room, I have a Google Home, and it's everything on English. So I push myself to speak English and is write in English and be in English.
Right. And what's the what's the language of Ecuador?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Speak Spanish.
Do you,
Yeah.
I always dream about taking the pro tip episodes of the podcast and translating to Spanish, but I don't know how to do that. People tell me that there are so many different kind of variations of the language that
Yeah, no, that's a particular thing here because we have like three regions, right? So it's like the coast thing, and then we have the highlands, and then we have the jungle, like the Amazonia.
Mhm.
And every single zone has a different language, has a different way of speaking. Like Quiteños, they speak in a very different way. They speak like singing, and Cuencanos, it's another part of the highlands. They also speak very differently. So it's a mixture
Is
of
it
ways.
is it so different that you would, like, when you go to Colombia or to Argentina, do you have trouble talking to people in Spanish?
Yes, and in Argentina, there are like words we use in our vocabulary here in Ecuador. There are very bad words in Argentina.
Oh. Oh, so
So yeah,
oh, I see.
it's a shock. It's a cultural shock, but it's amazing. Like knowing how they talk.
Tell me a word. Use the word in English, but tell me a word you would use in Ecuador that would be a bad word in Argentina.
Like taking the bus here, it would mean like coger el bus. Yeah, like
But in
it was
Argentina, that would not
in
translate well.
Argentina. Yeah, that would translate to a very bad thing with the bus.
Okay. A bad
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Let's all just wonder. I don't want you to tell me. We'll just leave it up in the air like that.
yeah, exactly.
That's funny. What about friends? Like, you're not dating. Do you have close friends?
Yeah, I have a close friend group. I have recently made friends because I didn't have a social life. I started my social life when I was 17.
Yeah.
I didn't have friends through all of this. So I recently have friends.
Do you find yourself feeling more mature than your other friends?
Yes, a lot. a lot of it because I'm like the father of the group of my friends.
Yeah.
I usually take care of them. I usually drive them. I usually like give them advices and help them work stuff.
Yeah. You've been through a lot. I mean, in a way that makes me feel like you're going to be very successful as an adult. I can't imagine what else could happen to you that you wouldn't be able to deal with, you know?
Yeah, now I'm prepared for pretty much everything.
Yeah, no kidding. I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Is college going to be online or is it something you're going to?
I want to go to it because they want to choose. They had a nice campus and they had a pool and they had a gym and they had a lot of stuff here. But it's like 10 minutes from my house, so it's not far.
Oh, so you'll live at home but go to college?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's excellent.
That's the way it works here.
Nobody lives at college there?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. My son just went back to school and I miss him already. So it would be nice if he had to come home every day. I would like that.
Yeah, that's the same. My parents appreciate a lot also.
Yeah, no, I imagine. So, do you imagine as an adult that you'll live in Ecuador?
No, I wanna get out of here.
Okay, where do you want to go?
I want to go to Australia or Indonesia.
Oh, I have listeners.
Yeah.
I have listeners in both of those places, so you can definitely keep listening to the podcast if you leave.
Yeah, the situation here it's very bad. Now we are next to Mexico in crimes.
Okay.
Also in like politics and all the stuff, we're very, very behind all the other countries.
So politically, it's something you'd like to get away from.
Yeah, also the violence here. People get killed in the street every day. They get robbed and they get murdered, and it's awful.
Oh my. What made you think about Indonesia?
Because as I told you, I love aquariums. I like the ocean.
Yeah.
I love it. So being like next to the ocean, being like next to the reefs, it will be my dream life.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a person that I just spoke to recently that lives there who listens to the podcast. Man,
nice.
There'd be two of you. You could find each other. Would you be able to carry on your medical care anywhere, do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know how the insurance things work in other countries because I have never like tested it, but I think I will carry on.
And so for the hepatitis part, it's just the pill that you have to keep up with.
Yeah, it's just a pill.
And are you, COVID aside, are you extra careful about trying not to get sick, or is that?
No, I don't usually do that. I used to do that, but now we went through a pandemic, so I don't think we need to be dead now. So I will just keep going out.
Start feeling like if you could make it through this, then everything else would be pretty easy.
Exactly.
Do you wear a mask when you go outside?
Yeah, I do wear a mask.
Okay.
But for example, if I'm with my friends, I don't wear a mask because we're all vaccinated.
Oh, you're all vaccinated at this point. Well, now you have the vaccine and you have, I imagine, antibodies from actually having COVID as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're gonna have the third dose here, like I think in 2 months.
You're gonna do the booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am too. I'm gonna take it as well. I didn't get Pfizer. I got J&J, but I'm gonna take a booster as well. Oh,
I got a friend who got that.
Yeah, it was actually. I guess I don't know how well it worked, other than to tell you I haven't had COVID, and
Did you get any of the side effects of it, or
from the shot? No, I didn't have.
Yeah,
I had no problems with the vaccine at all.
Okay.
My arm hurt for a couple of hours, but that was really the extent.
No, I got friends who got very bad headaches, vomit, and all the stuff.
Headaches after their vaccine.
Headaches, migraines. They couldn't sleep. After the J&J one.
Oh, I feel very grateful that did not happen.
Yeah.
Actually, my son and my wife had J&J as well, and none of us had an issue with it at all. And Arden had Pfizer. So she did,
okay.
Yeah, she did 2 doses of Pfizer, and she didn't have any trouble either. Hey,
yeah, no, I didn't have any trouble with the Pfizer, except for the first day I had like a lot of sleepiness. I felt very sleepy.
Gotcha.
But the next day I didn't feel like that.
I haven't asked you the whole time, but I've been wondering, what are the animals I'm hearing? It's a dog, right?
Yeah, it's my dog. Sorry,
No,
she's
don't be
2 months
don't
old.
be sorry. I've been dying to know. Like at first, I thought I heard birds in the beginning. And
Yeah, I also have
do
birds.
you? What kind?
It's Australian parrots.
Really?
Yeah.
You're an eclectic kid, Emilio.
Yeah, I had a lot of animals here. I also have clownfish and a reef tank
Uh, I used to
and a
keep.
plantain tank.
That's nice. I used to keep saltwater fish when I was younger. It's just
It's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just very expensive. So eventually, I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Are you able to get fish from the ocean when you scuba dive?
Technically yes, but legally no.
Amelia, are you telling me that you are not legally allowed to take fish from the ocean and put it in your fish tank?
No.
So,
Yeah, here no, you're not.
so
You're not allowed to do that in certain parts of the coast
I see. Okay, and so
because we
you
have
would
like
never,
reserves.
and you would never do that.
No, I will never do
Of
that.
course. Okay.
Of
Excellent.
course.
Of course. We're very, very law abiding. Is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you wanted to? I want to make sure we don't miss anything as we're coming up on an hour.
No, I think we have talked about all the things we mentioned.
Well, I have a question then. Then what made you want to come on the podcast?
I wanted people to know that living here in Ecuador, it's not like living in the jungle because people in the US think that we live in the jungle. We don't live in the jungle. We live in a city and we have a lot of things here. And also that having diabetes is in South America, it's not that bad. You can control it. You can live with it.
Yeah. Do you have any trouble with the heat, with keeping your insulin okay in your pump?
No, I usually don't put it in the freezer because I spend time in my room or spend time driving, and I pass in air conditioner all the time.
Okay. Oh yeah. So your home's air conditioned.
Yeah, my home, my house, everything. Because here the heat is the worst heat I have felt is like 35 degrees, 38 degrees.
Hold on a second. I got to figure out what that is in Fahrenheit. Oh, okay. Like 95. And I'm imagining the humidity, like the
Oof, 100%. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very high all the time.
You can go swimming without going to the ocean, maybe.
Exactly.
So is it a very indoor kind of existence then? Or do people?
No, we go out, but usually, like if I go out with friends, we go out to houses.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We don't go to malls because of the whole violence thing also.
Yeah.
But yeah, and or usually we go to the beach and spend time there, or we go to the highlands. Like, yeah.
Okay. When you're living in a place with violence like that, like how do you protect yourself? Like, are there things you think to
You
do?
cannot do that. You can't. Guns here are prohibited, and also the cops are very like they can't shoot people.
Okay.
If they do that, they go to jail. So they don't do anything basically.
So is the violence mostly with knives?
No guns.
Oh, so people have guns, but you're not legally allowed to have a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. Okay. Much gang violence, or is it kind
Yeah,
of...
it's like a cartel thing.
I see.
Like, yeah, it all goes up to Mexico and down. It's like the whole South America drug thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. Do you think your parents will leave when you leave, or do you think they'll stay?
No, they're gonna stay here.
They'll stay there.
They don't have like an idea of going to live somewhere else.
I see. How about your brother and sister?
My sister dream about living in Germany, but because of the situation, she's like trying to figure out how did she live. But yeah, and my brother has lived in Canada because of the college. But I don't think he has plans to go and live somewhere else.
Okay, I see. So he's back in Ecuador now after college.
Yeah,
I see. Well, that's a big change, Canada to Ecuador. I mean, just in the weather alone.
Yeah, if it was for him, he would live there. But the thing with college is that he had a I don't remember the exact word.
A visa, like a student visa.
Yeah, like a student visa from here, and part of the agreement is that if he goes 5 years to Canada, he needs to work. He needs to work here for 10 years.
I see. So if you get to go away to college, you have to come back and take what you learned and use it in Ecuador.
Yeah, if you don't have work, the government gives you work and all that stuff.
Okay. So, Emilio, I'm going to ask you a question that you might find silly, but I want to understand. Are there any scary snakes or spiders or anything weird there that could kill me?
Yes and no. Depends on where you're going. For example, if you're going to La Amazonia, obviously, to the jungle, obviously you're going to find like deadly things. But a couple of tarantulas, but nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. Okay. All right. So you've never woken up with a snake in your house or something like that?
No. I live in a city.
You're in the city. There's nothing there. And and you're very close to the shoreline as well.
Yeah, I'm hour and a half. Yeah, driving.
Do you drive? Do you have a car?
Yeah. Well, it's not mine, but it's from my dad. But I use it.
Okay. Do you take any special precautions when you're driving about your diabetes? You check more often?
Yeah, usually I carry a Juicebox or a Coca-Cola, a Coke. So yeah, I have had times when I'm driving and I went to 50, and I need to stop and drink the Coke and wait.
Yeah. Do your friends know how to help you? Have you ever had that conversation?
Yeah, I have the conversation with them a lot of times because I have told them, if someday I fainted, you need to check my blood sugar this way and this way and this way.
And they can do it.
Oh,
that's amazing. Good for you. Well,
they are trained. They are very well trained.
Yeah. So you found a good group of friends, even though you found them late.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. That really is great.
Yeah, it's very nice to have them.
Yeah. Oh, Emilio, I'm really happy that you came on and did this. I learned a lot in the last hour. I appreciate you taking the
thanks.
time. Yeah, no, really, I'm serious. It's I've never heard of anyone who had an autoimmune hepatitis before. When you said that, I just thought, wow, I've done this like 600 times, and somebody said something new to me today, which shocked me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, really, I was really thrilled that you came on and shared that. And just hearing how you took care of your family during COVID and all that you had to go through as a child, and that you're doing so well, it's really encouraging and uplifting.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you not think of yourself that way, or do you?
Yeah, I just think of myself that way.
Yeah.
But I don't usually think it a lot.
Yeah, don't think it too much, because you'll end up sounding like a jerk if you start saying nice stuff about yourself. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you're basically Superman to me today. I'm just.
Thanks.
It's amazing. I mean, seriously, congratulations on just being that kind of tough and sticking it out and not giving up. It really is special.
Yeah, that's part of the life. I think that's part of life.
Yeah. No, trust me. That's the whole thing. But a lot of people give up. And you had enough reasons you could have, It's really, really a really wonderful story. Tell your parents I think they raised a really good kid.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to tell them.
Yeah, you to tell them a guy from America on a podcast said that, and they'll be like, shut up.
Usually people do tell them that.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I can't be the first person to think it. That's for sure. It's a really extraordinary what you've accomplished.
Yeah, my last boss from my last job, it's like a cafeteria next to the house. Have told them that had told them that also, and my uncles, when they get to know me very well, like you, they do tell them that.
Yeah, no, you sound like a really special person. I'm glad to have met you.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. If there's nothing else, I'm going to say goodbye, but I really do appreciate this.
Yeah, I think we have speak about all the subjects we needed to speak about.
We did good, right? We didn't miss anything, and I had a good time. Did you have fun?
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Did you really? Okay, I'm glad. Are you going to let your friends listen to this or no?
Yes, I'm going to send it to them.
Excellent.
To them.
That's really cool. Well, hello to everybody there. I hope one day to get to Galapagos Islands. I don't know if I ever will. The murdering stuff you said made me a little scared, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to fix that. But...
Yeah, you stop shooting people, and I'll come see the turtles. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, Emilio, hold on for
The situation is in Guayaquil, but in the Galapagos Islands, nothing of this stuff happens.
I'll be okay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah.
it's back on my dream list then. I really mean it. Of all the places that
you should come. It's a very special place. It's very amazing.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, you've made me feel good about it. Let's see who we're thanking. Dexcom, Omnipod, Emilio. Ooh. And guess what else? You for listening. Thank you so much to Dexcom for sponsoring this episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Don't forget, look into that free 10-day trial at dexcom.com/juicebox. You also may be eligible for a free 30-day trial of the Omnipod DASH, and the only way to find out is at omnipod.com/juicebox. Take the T1D Exchange survey. It takes fewer than 10 minutes. You help someone with type 1 diabetes, and you support the podcast. T1dexchange.org/juicebox. If you're looking for the private Facebook group, it's called Juicebox Podcast Type 1 Diabetes. You answer. You'll have to answer just a few questions to get in so that the algorithm knows you're a real person. There are almost 25,000 members in that Facebook group. It's really a wonderful place full of helpful, lovely, and dedicated people. You should check it out. Enjoying the podcast? Why not leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening? 5 stars, check, however many 5 is, and then write like a beautiful review that people could read and go, oh, I see why this person likes the podcast. I will try it too. That's very helpful. But the most helpful thing you can do is share the show with someone else and subscribe in an app. So I don't want to say the most helpful thing. The 2 most helpful things you could do for the podcast is to share it with someone else and to subscribe or follow in the app you're listening in. And if you're not listening in an app, it's possible you're over, I'm going to say 65, and you're listening online. You're like, this web browser is amazing. You can hear words from it. If that's what you're into, don't let me stop you. It's okay. But otherwise, you guys should really check out a podcast app. They're free and easy, and make it a nice experience when you're listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Follow and subscribe. That's it for me. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast.